Hello, and welcome to another episode of Prog Review. I'm just arranging my Allen keys. Gives me a sense of calm, and stillness if my Allen keys are arranged correctly. But you're not here for that. You're here for my review of Weltschmerz, the new, possibly final album from William Derek Dick, the fish man himself, ex of Marillion. Remember them? Exactly. It was a long time ago. So oh god, this album's been a long time coming. Again, because poor old Fish, and I mean, I know he banned me from seeing his concerts after that last review I did. Yeah, do you remember that? I mean, I don't like to mention it, even though I do every time I mention Fish or Derek William Dick, because you have to say Fish, because if I say Fish, people, some stupid dim people think I'm talking about fish when I'm talking about Fish, the ex-singer with Marillion, and not Fish, PH, that band called Fish, phonetic Fish. Yeah. So yeah, it is his. I don't know how many albums. How many albums has he had? Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is his 11th studio album, and it's been delayed because again he hasn't been well. He's been in hospital a couple of times, and that's a shame. Even though he's banned me from his concerts, I won't wish any physical harm on the old fella, on Prog's leading poet, drunk poet, nationalist poet. Remember, folks, there's only one acceptable form of nationalism. That's Scottish nationalism. Remember that. Can't have English nationalism, or Irish nationalism, or Welsh nationalism. But you can have Scottish nationalism. That's fine. Yeah. Anyway, back to the thing. This is his. This again. He keeps promising that this will be his final album. I could make jokes about it. I could say there is a silver lining to 2020, and that Fish has released his last album. I could say that, couldn't I? But I think that'd be disingenuous and rather cruel for me to say that. I think it'd be cruel. So I'm not going to crack that joke, and I'm not going to say, because Weltschmerz itself is a German expression meaning the pain of the world. World weariness. And I could make the joke that if you listen to this album, you're likely to end up with Weltschmerz. I could crack, but I'm not going to crack that joke because I'm past it. I'm extending the hand of friendship to Mr. Fish, Mr. William Dick. I'm extending the hand of friendship there. So we come to this. His 11th and possibly final album. I don't think it is. I think that's he's just reeling this in. He's a clever man, you see. He's a clever bloke. I think there's going to be another one. I don't think this is it. I don't think we've heard the last of him. Anyway, back to the review. You're here for a review, not me just wittering on. Oh, it started raining. I can hear the rain pitter-pattering on the window there. It's almost like a Fish lyric, that was. So anyway, the album. I mean, I could crack the joke that nobody listens to Fish albums for fun. I could say that, but I'm not going to crack that joke because I listened to this album, and it's not fun. Opens with Grace of God, and it opens with he's being put into an MRI scanner machine, and they're telling him what to do, and it's all swirly and blippy, and it's about getting old, really. It's about bits falling off here. Oh, there's a stain there. Is that toothpaste? How did I get toothpaste up there? God, now it's either toothpaste or semen. It's got to be toothpaste, isn't it? God, I'm turning into a right old tramp. If I tuck that over, you won't know. Nobody will notice that. And it's about you falling apart and bits dropping off, and that. It's about getting old, really. That's what I took from it, anyway. And it has the legend, probably the lyric. There was a lyric in this that just it stood out, and I think it's probably Fish's finest work. I mean, it hit me profoundly. It got me there. This lyric, just a single lyric, it stuck out from this. And the lyric was, "His underpants are grey and sagging." I just thought, just that line illustrates the impotence and the fragility of the older man. In that single line, I was entranced. He captured me. I thought, yeah, I think that's it. But I don't wear grey I don't wear white now. Those are white underpants that start. I wear black briefs. Never going to go grey. You see, one step ahead. 3D chess. You're playing checkers. 3D chess here. Also, with balls my big, I need a lot of support. So it's always briefs. Bring them up, you see. Otherwise, they start banging against me in the thighs, you see. But grace of God, it's about getting old. 8 minutes long. You do age whilst listening to it, but he captures the inevitable slide into decrepency. You know, he captures it, and it's good. Man with a Stick. Again, he goes crazy. Again, Mr. Fish, he isn't shy. He's not shy. He's like the kid he's been given set homework by his female English teacher, and he wants to impress her. So he's gonna fucking stuff metaphor and simile into his poem until the lyric is groaning and creaking under the weight of said imagery. We had that with Man with a Stick. Now, is it an old man with a stick, or is it a man with a stick who's going to hit you on the head? You know, is there a carrot on the end of the stick? I don't think he did that line. I'd have put carrot and stick. You see, carrot and stick, but I don't think he went there. I didn't work for me. However, Walking on Eggshells did. It had a kind of almost had a Marillion vibe to it, but it's the only song on the album that has a grain of hope. All the rest of the songs are fairly hopeless. You know, they're bleak, and that's it. This is his magnum opus. This is, you know, Fish, you know, railing at the state of the world. You know, he is the old man with the stick, having a go. But I thought Walking on Eggshells, there was like a little bit of hope in it, and I quite enjoyed it. Again, I didn't dislike this album as much as the last one. I mean, it's not successful because it's 1 hour and 24 minutes long, and I think again some of the songs need cutting back. You know, there's some bits that are too long, and some bits I think are unnecessary. But I thought Walking on Eggshells was an interesting song. I liked it. It had a like I say, a glimmer of hope in its intention, and I like that. This party's over. Again. It's called Quite Jolly, but the lyrics aren't. There's a real incongruity there into, you know, and him being miserable about everything. So it's another song of abject misery and woe. But that's it. That's what the album is. It's Weltschmerz. It's the pain of the world. It's reflected in it. Or we get political for Rose of Damascus, and I should have put bets down because I knew he was going to put Damascene in it, and he bloody well did. He mentioned it. He did that. He used that in it, and it's a story of war and desolation, and Rose fleeing her country and being an illegal immigrant / refugee going across the sea on a dinghy or whatnot. And it's all right, you know. You've got to have your political, you know. You've got to be politically correct and give the right message. See, in the 80s, if this was the 80s, oh, it's getting dark. I'm losing light. Oh, it's getting dark and moody like this album. But if Fish had written this in the 80s, he'd have done it from the viewpoint of the guy, the intolerant religious fanatic coming over, and then him, I don't know, beheading a policeman on the streets of London. That's what you'd have got if it was the 80s, you know, when he had the political fire in his belly. But now he's just kind of falling back on the current political tropes of the time. You know, it's a bit like the Marillion Fear album. You know, we must appease the politics of the time. You know, the favourable politics. You don't have to be right wing. You've got to be further left. Oh, I'm a lefty, but I thought this was just too obvious, and a bit trite. You know, but there you go. And it's 15 minutes long. It didn't half go on a bit. Garden of Remembrance. There was a video for this, I think. And I avoided it. I mean, because I've avoided most of the tracks on it, except for Weltschmerz, because there was a single for that, and I blundered into that because it was on my YouTube suggestions. But Garden of Remembrance I avoided. And it's a song about getting old and losing your mind and senility and stuff. And it's not a happy song, but I liked it because I mean, Fish has done ballads in the past, and they're always a bit. But I like this. This one worked. I thought this one was good. But the only thing was missing. It really did need more swell from the strings. I was thinking, it needs a real kind of, you know, when the strings come up. But other than that, I enjoyed it. I thought it was an all right kind of song, and again, different enough from the rest of the stuff on the album. Again, this and Grace of God, because it's talking about. Again, it's almost autobiographical. I know he hasn't gone senile, but maybe someone close to him, he's seen it in his life. But I like it better when he is writing closer to himself than writing the political stuff that he does. Let me just can I adjust that to make it a bit brighter? That's better. Because suddenly it's gone. The dark clouds have come in. It's because I'm talking about this. So Garden of Remembrance gets a pass. Sea Song, which I imagine is about COVID song, or the Trondheim Waltz. I think it's about his career coming to an end. It's all right. I thought it was all right. I didn't mind it. I thought it was up. But Little Man, What Now? Too long, boring. And then we get to Waverly Steps. Now this one I thought was the strongest piece on the album. I liked it. I liked it musically. Again, the music on the record isn't that bad. It's good. There's a good variety of stuff, you know. There's some obvious bits, and the bits I think that work best is when it's stripped back, like Garden of Remembrance, and there's some bits where I don't know if it's on Walking on Eggshells, but it's just him and an acoustic guitar. And I think it's when things are stripped back, it's better. And again, Fish's voice is gone now, and that's a real shame. It's a real sad shame because he's more speaking the lines. You know, it's a more mellow delivery. And you don't get the power of old days, but look, grace of God, we're all getting older and bits are falling off us. And Waverly Steps, end of the line, open parentheses, end of the line, close parentheses. He missed a step here. It's big, it bowls along, there's some nice musical parts in it. I thought it really worked well. I really liked it, thought it was good. It should have been the end of the album, but he tacks Weltschmerz on at the end. And Weltschmerz should have been bumped up maybe to the second track on the record, because it really kind of states his intention. It's like, this is where we're at, this is where it's going. I think putting it in the 10th track should have ended on Waverly Steps. I think that was the natural conclusion to the record. And Weltschmerz, again, a lot of this stuff he's done before. You know, it's the political thing. It kind of calls back to the Vigil in the Wilderness of Mirrors album. I mentioned, I did a slight review of it, or maybe I've talked about it, I can't remember. I talk about a lot of stuff, but I wouldn't say it's my greatest, my favourite on the album. But yeah, I think it should have been the second track, and Waverly Steps should have ended it. So yeah, we get to the end, and it is a long slog. It's an hour and 24 minutes. I know it's his magnum opus. I don't know. Again, it didn't hold my interest for that length of time, again, because some of the bits are a bit, there are songs that are a bit samey, and some tracks should have been, again, this is my opinion, Fish is well in his rights to put this out. I'm just saying, for me, to make it work as a record, knock some of the stuff off. But much better than that last one. So much better. So much better. Yeah, there are some bits in it where he's doing the spoken, does the where he slows things down. I'm thinking of Pulp and Jarvis Cocker doing Wicker Man, but you know, from Misplaced Childhood, you know, when he does everything slows. There's some of that in there. You do get like almost like the greatest hit stylistically of his career. So it's kind of cool in that respect because there are some callbacks to the past. You know, you do get that. But again, people are in love with doing double albums and putting out this great big statement. For me, it's just, it's too long. It's just too long. But, you know, if it really is the last album, then I think he did a good job in putting this out. It's not an album I choose to buy or listen to. But if you're a fan, and I know I'm going to state the bleeding obvious, if you're a fan, you are going to love this. You're going to give this 5 stars out of 5. You know, and if you're a Prog fan, I think there's enough there, you know, to keep you going for a long old while. But for me, I don't know. Some of it's a bit, you know, some of it's a bit obvious. Some of it's a bit, you know, but then that's it. It is what it is, and it's Weltschmerz, and it was never going to be a happy song. Never going to be a happy album. It was always going to be a bit downbeat, and that's a bit of I always find that a bit sad, you know, because if it is his finale, wouldn't it have been nice to go out on a real high, you know, real air punching, you know, call to arms like Market Square Heroes or something like that. But it kind of ends really downbeat, miserable. And I know he banned me and that, and you'd have to pay me to go and see him play live. But you know, I don't hold any grudges. I'm just here to talk music, and hopefully you'll sit down. You can stream this, Spotify and YouTube Music, and you can stream it and see what you think. And it is a grand statement. This is it. He delivered what he promised, a grand statement. It is there. But I kind of hope it's not the end. I hope there's more. I really do. I really hope that he'll have a break, he'll sit down, and as he gets older, he'll reflect and he'll realise that, you know, the sun shines on the dog's arse once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Even the sun shines on the dog's arse once in a while. And there's always an upside to these things. And, you know, that's that. Let's not all be miserable all the time. Sorry. In terms of a rating, it gets points knocked off just for the sheer length of it, because it is just overdone. He could have knocked off Little Man What Now, Rose of Damascus, and I think just mainly those two, because they're the ones that I just thought were a bit unnecessary. And that still brings it to an hour, so that would have made it a single album. And it still would have been a powerful album, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'm going to give this, or I'm feeling generous because it is, you know, it's his final record. I'm going to give this 3 man with a stick out of 5. That's 3 man with a stick out of 5, because it's not all bad, and it's a lot better than the last one. I thought the last one was appalling, whereas this one I thought was a real uptick. So yeah, and that's that. Blimey, mind you, this has got nearly 20 minutes. You'll be moaning at me, I've gone on too long, but it was 1 hour and 24, and you want me to entertain. So now go off and listen to it. Okay. And if anyone says anything, tell Fish that Darren sent them, you know. And I don't hold any grudges. Yeah. And good luck with the nationalism thing. And on that, there's only one more thing left to say, and that is prog on.